Hey, what's up, guys? Houston here. Look, if you have horrible credit, all right, usually horrible credit is usually beyond bad, all right? Now, here's the thing about it. Many people, when they get to that point, they're ready to give up. Well, I'm going to show you some of the best places that you may have a chance to get an unsecured credit card. Now, the first one is Patel, all right? So here's the thing about it. When you come over to Patel, one, you're going to see Patel 1 as well as Patel 1 Rise. Since you have horrible credit, this is the card you want to go for, the Patel One Rise. Now, the difference, as you can see, basically with the Patel One Rise, they charge you an annual fee. All right. Now, here's something that you need to understand. This here credit card goes from 300 up to $5,000. All right. And it is a unsecured credit card. All right. So that's the good part about it being unsecured. Now, here's the thing about it. I would tell you guys when it comes to cards like this, the biggest things that I've seen most people get denied for is that either the card doesn't service in that state or that they may not have enough income because they will work with people that have government benefits. So if you're on government benefits, they still will work with you. All right. One of the other things that you may want to consider is that with their situation, is that the application that you submit, if the data on that application is not the same as the data with the third party credit bureaus, then what ends up happening, that can get your credit application rejected. Now, some of you all may be unfamiliar with what the third party credit bureaus is, and which I'll touch on those as we go along. Here's another card that you guys should be easy to get when you have horrible credit. It's the extra debit card, right? Now, how this card works is basically it looks at your bank account, it looks at your monthly transactions, and that's what it actually reports to the credit bureau. Now you have to have an active checking account. For some of you all may be asking, will they accept Chime? Okay. I would probably reach out to them and let them know that I am using Chime to make sure that they're willing to accept it. All right. So that way you're not just guessing at it. But the thing about it with this here card, it is easy to get. They do report to Experian as well as Equifax. Another card that you should be able to get with horrible credit is Credit.ai. Now, again, long as you have an active checking account with deposits, you should be able to qualify for this here card. All right. Now, the reason that you want this card is because this card gives you a trade line up to 1,500. All right. This is the reason why. And it does report to Experian as well as Equifax also. Now, for you guys that are working a job and struggling financially, I would tell you to go to your HR and request this form. It's a W-4 form. Okay. This is going to stop them from taking federal income taxes out of your check. I always tell people to do this for 3 or 4 months to bring home more money. So that way you can get caught up on bills and possibly pay down some of your other credit card debt so your credit score can go up as well. If you have bad credit, more likely you're probably struggling financially as well. And so here's a free resource that I always tell people to do. And this resource will help you get access to food, help you get some utilities paid. So it offers an arrangement of things. And all you do, this is findhelp.org, you just put your zip code in. Once you put your zip code in, it will give you all of the programs in your area that you can reach out to for some type of help. Going back to credit cards that you should be able to get approved for when you have horrible credit is the Reflex card. All right. And as you can see, the limit on this is up to $1,000. All right. Now, understanding that these type of credit cards, yes, they may have a high annual fee. However, when you have horrible credit and you're trying to rebuild credit, you're trying to add on as many positive trade lines to your credit file as possible. And you're trying to get as many unsecured trade lines as possible as well. Because again, once you get these like unsecured credit cards, one of the things I always tell you, if it's possible for you to manage, make sure you use the maximum 25%, but I always tell people to try to go down to about 10% before that statement date. The reason is because the lesser the amount you have on the card, so they give you 1,000, again, 10% of that is 100. But if you have to use 25% of that, $250 of that, make sure that you have it paid back down under 10% by time the statement date. Again, this is going to give you a big boost in your credit score as well. Here's another credit card you should take a look at as well. Now, this is the Fit MasterCard. All right. Now, you can see it only goes up to $400. But again, all we're looking for when we have horrible credit is trying to get approved for as many possible positive trade lines as possible. Okay, because the reason is the more trade lines that positive trade lines that are on the credit file, again, it's going to overshadow those negative trade lines to help boost up that credit score. Here's another pretty much guaranteed approval credit card. This is the Arro credit card. Now, here's the thing about it. With this here credit card, a lot of people don't understand in order to get access, you do have to have a smartphone because you have to download that app. As you can see, it's either in the Apple Store or in the Google Store that you have to download the app in order to get approved for this here card. Well, here's some questions that you may want to ask about the card. What's the maximum limit? The maximum limit on this card is $2,500. Okay. Do you qualify? This is the basic stuff, but like I said, you have to have an account. The minimum income you have to have in an account is $150. Now, again, like I said, if you're on government benefits and you're trying to rebuild your credit, this is one of those cards you should take a look at. But make sure that you have active account with deposits in it. All right. Now, another thing is asking, do they run a credit check? Again, they do a soft pull on the credit, but it's not with the major credit bureaus. They use the third party credit bureaus. Okay. And this is so important because again, this is why a lot of people they get denied because the information that they put on the application is not matching the information with the third party credit bureau. And most of that information usually is when people move around a lot, so the address may not add up. As a matter of fact, let me show you. Now, these are some of the third party credit bureau, financial credit bureaus that I'm talking about. Okay, so some of you all, if you follow me talking about loans, you hear me talk about this a lot. But a lot of people just are not aware of there's teletrack out there. Okay, so if you ever taken out a loan, any of your data and stuff, they capture that data and they sell it to these here third party financial lenders and stuff like that. So that can be a challenge in terms of when you're trying to get access to funding because again, you may have stayed at apartment A and then you moved over to apartment B. Now, when you put in that application, you put apartment B, but you did not update it with the credit bureaus. So they have apartment A. So now it looks like fraud. So that's what I mean about information. So you have Teletrack. You also have Factor Trust. Now, Factor Trust is owned by TransUnion. Okay, so it being owned by TransUnion, you can definitely get access to your credit file. You can do a fraud alert, you can do an opt out, do a security freeze. So you can do all of these things. By the way, when I talk to you all about tribal lenders, these are the databases that they actually pull your credit from without doing a hard pull on the credit so they can see if you ever taken out a loan before with us, if you ever filed bankruptcy while having a loan with us, all of those things, this is what these third party credit bureaus are doing so that when you try to apply for a loan, because that information you're not saying, they are saying, and that's the reason you may get denied. All right. Now, there's one other. Actually, there's more than this, but another one is Clarity, that's owned by Experian. Okay, and yes, you can get access to these files as well. Okay, so you can request to see your financial credit file. Okay. Now, another credit card that should be easy for you to get when you have horrible credit is the Prosper card. Again, no annual fees, no security deposits, okay? Don't charge fees for ATM withdrawals, all right? And you can see they go up to $3,000. The initial starts at 500, goes up to 3,000. All right. Now the instant access, that means that once you are approved for this credit card, they're going to give you a temporary credit card number where you can shop online. So if you shop at Walmart or any other department stores or wherever you shop at, Nike, it doesn't matter. Like whenever you shopping just regular with a credit card online, you'll be able to use that number to shop the same way with that card. All right. Another credit card that should be easy for you to get when you have horrible credit is the Credit One Bank Visa. Now, this is the card you want. You want the rebuilding credit card, okay? And so when you get access to this card, and it tells you about your fees and stuff like that. So again, you have horrible credit. So you can't expect too much from these here lenders, all right? You just trying to be able to get back in the game to start rebuilding your credit so that you can start moving forward with your life. Another credit card should be able to get very easy is the Avant. Now the cards that I'm pointing out, these are unsecured credit cards. So there's no money up front. The only thing that happens with these cards is making sure you have an active bank account that they can verify that you actually have regular income. Now with other credit cards, it's stated income and things like that. But like with the Avant, here it is. It shows you that there's a membership fee, right, from $0 to $99. Then it may be a monthly fee of $199. But you can see here it's an unsecured card. It goes from 300 up to $3,000. So again, when you have horrible credit, do not expect to get the creme la creme, right? You cannot expect for the best when you have horrible credit. You probably already defaulted on loans and credit cards, and it may not have been in your control. You may have co-signed for somebody to have a car or an apartment or something and it tanked your credit. So life happens, but at the same time, when rebuilding, just keep in mind that these credit cards, they're going to have these annual fees. They're going to have these, some of these may have a membership or something. But at the same time, if they're willing to report so that you can start rebuilding your credit, these are some of the cards you want to go after. Another easy credit card for you guys to take a look at. And it is a secured card, but it's the self card. All right. Now, here's the thing about it. Look, you only need $100 to start this card. Just $100. And I just showed you guys how to get access to that $100 if you are working. But the thing about it, $100 to help you start rebuilding your credit, hey, I would do that any day of the week if it's going to give the opportunity to start reporting good trade lines back to my credit. Another credit card that you should be able to get access to when you have horrible credit is the Chime credit card. And the good thing about the Chime credit card, not only does it report, but when you open up a checking account with them, they actually spot you $200. So that's the best thing about it. For a bank to actually give you $200 to start out with when you have bad credit, this is definitely one of those cards you want to start with. For those of you that may be struggling trying to get a loan, a place that you may want to take a look at, especially when you have low income and you are receiving like government assistance or something like that, you want to look at Big Buck Loans. It's a platform, but they work with people that are low income, that receiving government assistance, or you can have a job with income, but you have bad credit. This is one of those places you want to take a look at. And as you can see, it goes from 100 up to 5,000. So all credit scores are welcome. Now, please keep in mind, this is a platform. And this here type of platform, they do work with tribal lenders. But I want to show you something that's very important so that way you can understand. Look at their interest rates. The interest rates on these here loans go from 5.99 up to 35.99. One last loan lender that you may want to take a look at is Explore Credit. And as you can see with Explore Credit, they go up to $2,000. Again, with tribal lenders, and this is a tribal lender, they don't have to go through all that red tape. Now, what I would tell you, the minimum income, whenever you're going after these tribal lenders, all right, and some of these other third parties, most of them want to see that you have at least $1,000 of availability after taxes. So basically, $250 a week after taxes. All right. But $1,000 a month is what they want to see most of the time after taxes. So I hope this video helped you. If you have any questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, even trying to remove some of the negative items off of your credit, click the link in the description. Schedule one-on-one consultation. Thank you.